In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a callout animation and track that into your scene using Adobe After Effects. So let's get into it. So once you're inside of Adobe After Effects and you have some footage inserted, we can now go ahead and analyze the footage. So in order to do this, we want to go into Effects and Presets, and we'll search for 3D Camera Tracker. We'll drop the 3D camera tracker onto our footage. So the computer's just going to take a moment to analyze and read the camera movement, and it's going to take that camera movement and turn it into tracking data. And then from there, it's going to turn that data into tracking points, and you can select a tracking point to stick your text to. So the computer has finished analyzing, and if we scrub through the footage, you can see we've got all of these different crosses appearing on our footage. And essentially, these are our tracking points. So the best track in this example was down on the floor here. You can see we've got a load of tracking markers. The computer was pretty consistent down there. We've got some foreground ones, but I think it's going to be best if we select one of these in the tree or we select one of these on the floor, because there's the most consistent amount of tracking points there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select, let's go for one of these. We'll select a target here. And that's going to select 3 tracking points. We'll right click and we just want to go ahead and create null and camera. So essentially that has created a null object to follow the camera movement. So whatever we stick to the null object will be moving with the camera movement. So from here, we can now go ahead and we can concentrate on the animation. So we're just going to turn that off for now. So we'll turn all of those off. We'll go into our T icon and we'll just type out anything you like. So we'll just type out a word of your choice. So we'll do awesome, and we'll change the color of this to white, and we'll press OK. Then I'm just going to turn the proportional grid on. We'll move this over to the right a touch, and then making sure that no layers are selected. It's really important that no layers are selected. So deselect, click down here. We want to go up to the pen tool. We're going to draw a line underneath our word, and then we'll just create a diagonal line coming down here. And then from here, you want to go into fill, select no fill, press OK, select stroke. You want to make sure the second box is selected, so that is solid color. And then you can go ahead and change the color if you like, but I'm going to keep it as white. And then you can increase or decrease the stroke width. It's completely up to you, but I'm going to leave that at around 5. Now from here, we want to go ahead and we want to animate the line to come on. So we want to start at the bottom left, animate on, and as that animates on, the word can appear up. So what we will do is we'll go into shape layer, select the drop down arrow and select add. And next to add, there's a play button. That will load up this menu, and you want to select trim paths. Go into trim paths and you can see we've got start and end. Pull the start up to 100. And that's going to animate off. So around there, we'll create a brand new keyframe on start at 100. We'll move roughly a second to the right and we'll pull that down to 0. If we play that back from the beginning, you'll notice that is not there, and then it animates on. So as soon as that animates on around here, we'll go to the text. We'll go transform position, create a brand new keyframe on position. Then we'll move a few frames to the left and we'll pull the position down underneath that line. So we'll pull that to around there. Now we'll just zoom in. And as you can see, if we play this back, it doesn't look particularly great. And that's because we need this to animate on from that line. So what we'll do is we'll create a brand new rectangle mask. So we'll create a mask using that line as reference. And you want to make sure that lines up with that second point here. Go into mask 1 and select mask path and create a brand new keyframe with the stopwatch icon. We'll go back to that first keyframe. So the first keyframe on your position. And then you want to pull the position of that mask up. So the bottom of this mask should be sitting on that line. So essentially that mask should always be sitting on that line. And by doing that, it means we get this really nice text reveal effect happening. And I think that looks really awesome. So now that we've created that, we can now pre-compose that. So select both of those layers, right click and select pre-compose. You can go ahead and rename this pre-composition if you like, but for speed, I'm not going to. Now, if we play this back, you'll notice that the camera slides, but this callout animation isn't sticking to the scene, and that's because we haven't actually linked this object to the track data yet. So in order to do that, we basically want to turn this into a 3D object. At the moment, it's 2D. We want to convert this into a 3D object. It sounds complicated, but it's actually really easy. So go to pre-comp 1, and you want to make sure you can see all of these options here. So you've got your motion blur, and you've got all of these other settings. If you can't, select toggle switches / modes to reveal. And then you want to select this box here so that there is this cube. And doing so, you'll probably notice that has now disappeared. But if we play this back, you'll notice that's because it's positioned over here onto the right. So we'll drop down into here, we'll go transform. And as you can see, we've got loads more settings here. And that's because we're working with 3D positioning rather than 2D positioning. So to begin with, we're just going to shift this over to the left using position. And you want to put this roughly into position. If we play this back, you notice that looks really great, but the problem is it's too far in the foreground. And the reason why that's a problem is because it's in the foreground, because we get this parallax effect where the foreground moves faster than the background, it's just wiping across the screen way too quickly. So we want to move that back into space. So in the position, you can see the first option selects left and right. The second option selects up and down, and then the third option selects forwards and back. So we want to make this further back. We want to put this further back into our scene. We want to really take this far back. We're getting there, but it still needs to go a bit further back. We can increase the scale if this is getting too small though, don't worry. We'll pull the position of this over to left. You basically want this to stick into the scene where you want it to stick. So basically, I'm trying to get it to stick around here somewhere. Almost there. We're still a bit too far forward, so we'll push this even further back. We'll increase the scale. Move this over to the left. Play this back once more. And I'd say we're getting there now. Although the problem is because I've pushed it so far back into the scene, it's really small now. The animation is a bit difficult to see. So we'll just increase the scale. I'll push it a bit further back just for good measure. And we'll play this back. And there you go. We've got this really awesome call out animation. Although it would be cool if this call out animation cast a shadow into our scene. It sounds complicated, but it's actually really simple. So to begin with, we'll copy and paste that layer. So this will be a 3D layer. Then you want to go into Effects and Presets, search for Tint. Drop Tint onto the bottom layer. And at the moment, you won't see anything happening because it's directly underneath this other layer. But we'll select Map White 2 and turn that to black. So we've created a black layer. Now from here, we'll go into Pre-Comp 1. And we can go down and we can look at the other settings. So we want to go ahead and we want to change the X rotation. So we want to change that to go backwards. So around here. And then we want to move the position of this down. So we want that to position around there. Feel free to increase the rotation if you need it. So it's around there. We'll go back to the beginning and we'll play this back just to make sure that it works. There we go. You can see that is animating onto the floor. But the problem is it's a bit too defined for my liking. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into Effects and Presets. We'll go down into Blur and Sharpen and we'll select Camera Lens Blur. And we'll drop Camera Lens Blur onto the shadow layer. We'll zoom in and we'll just increase the blur radius to around, let's go to around 20%. And then the problem is it's just not quite matching the other shadows in the area. So we'll go into Map White 2. We'll select this eyedropper tool and we'll select one of these shadow colors here. So press OK. And now rendering that out and playing that back looks awesome. It's exactly what we needed for this effect. But the problem is we want to add some motion blur to take that to the next level to really make it part of the scene. So in order to do that, we're just going to select those two pre-comp 1 layers. Select this motion blur box and then make sure this motion blur icon is blue. Because this is a 3D file now, it is going to be a bit more strenuous on your computer, so it might take a little longer to render out, but give your computer the time it needs, and when you watch this back, you'll notice you've got this really awesome call out animation tracked into your scene. It's a really awesome and effective way of calling out specific details or adding captions into a scene. So I really hope this video was helpful, and if it was, then please do let me know in that comment section below. Thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate your support, and I will see you on the next video. See you there.